Good morning, drummers. My name's Jared Leary, and I've been drumming for 26 years. I still have plenty of stuff that I'm going to work on. In fact, today we're going to be working in this stream on my upstroke technique. Now, all of these drumming streams, what I like to do is just share how I practice, what I'm doing to try and improve over time, to continue to refine my technique and whatnot. You can find all of these prior streams. There's 281 of them in this playlist on YouTube. And if you click on one of them, then it actually takes you into the video with descriptions that have timestamps. So you can actually see, okay, I was talking about why I do a stretch and massage routine right there. I was playing through flam drags on Accent's triplet grid. And then right here I was doing advanced stick control with filler, etc. So you can skip around to the parts that look interesting. If these are too long, I got you. We got a whole playlist where I actually answer questions from people who have been in the different chats, because we're live on YouTube as a vertical and a horizontal. We're live on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, and Twitter, and Facebook, but I don't see those chats because they're disabled. Now, if you want to find the responses that I give to here's how you do blah, or here's what I did to work on blah, you can find that in this playlist. There's over 8 hours of free drumming tips in here, and there's a bunch of them. So for this one, it starts off talking about something that is more important than working on your chops, and then it goes into a bunch more different tips in there. This members first one, by the way, is scheduled to release publicly, as are all of the other videos that say members first. Now, you can find all of the drumming tips and literally thousands of free play-alongs here, which is jaredoleary.com/drum. On my website, there's 54 chop exercises, 372 triplet grid, 513 16th grid variations, 36 timing exercises for drum kit, 55 drum charts, both swung and straight, 166 marching bass exercises, 134 technique exercises, and then all the drum practice streams, all the drumming tips, the gear that I'm using, like what kind of sticks I'm using, etc. These are all free, so enjoy it if you would like. Now, we're going to get motivated here with some Shia LaBeouf, but before I start that, I'm going to hide the screen because of copyright. But Shia helps me to get motivated, so here we go. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. Keep almost losing it with the sticks. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, yeah. Now I'm super motivated to stream. Woo-wee. Now, one of the things I'm actually going to start doing in these streams, one of the things I want to do is start sharing some quotes that have been relevant to me in some way in life. So I've got 131 of them. I'm going to turn these into their own standalone motivational video of just quotes that have helped me, lessons I've learned, etc. as somebody who is constantly trying to improve on different aspects of life. So here's the first of all these different quotes. So another person's approval is not a requirement for your own confidence. So people don't know what your level of preparation is, or how much time you spent working on something, preparing for something. So sometimes they might discourage you from doing something and say, oh no, you're not ready for that, or oh, you're not able to do that, because they don't want you to experience pain. They don't want you to fail, suffer, etc. Other times they're saying that because they might want that thing, and they know they're not willing to put the effort in to achieve that, and they don't want to see you surpass their own goals or their own achievements or accomplish the things that they're working for. For example, like a promotion at work, maybe they're also applying for that promotion, and they don't want competition with you applying for it. What was another thing I was going to say about this? I forget. Scatterbrain this morning, apparently. Don't have coffee, so. Yeah, so your like level of confidence and whatnot has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not people approve of that. There have been times where I have, like, let's say my skill level at something is like a 7, and I needed to be at skill level 8 in order to like get a promotion or something in like work or whatever. Now, sometimes you got to push yourself a little bit more to like beyond your current level to get yourself that like motivation, that drive, that like need to be able to improve, to work on things, to get a little bit better every single day, which I totally agree with in chat. So doing that can help out. Same thing can happen with music. So there were times where, let's say there's a skill level of 7 on like a marimba piece or something, and I wanted to get better, so I would pick a piece that is like skill level 8. It forced me to improve over time. Got a car alarm going off. This was like happening for like more than 30 minutes the other day. The neighbor, like, just, it kept going off, on, off, on. It's hilarious. Luckily for me, I wasn't recording anything at the time. But anyways, that was just a quick quote that has been helpful for me. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Sometimes people will discourage you from doing things that you are actually capable of doing. But today, we're going to be working on upstroke technique, and we are going to be working in the technique exercises, too far, down here, under the accent tap playlist. So when you click on this, there are 20 videos in this particular playlist that work on accent taps in different ways. We're going to work on the upstroke sticking right here, the alternating upstrokes. This is forward grid. There's backward triplet grid. And then there's also the same thing, forward and backward for 16th note grid, if that is what you are so interested in doing. But before we get into upstroke stuff, we're going to warm up. And I'm going to warm up with downstroke grid. And we're going to do it this way. And we'll go into the timestamp of every single one of these videos. You just go into it, and then you click on a BPM, and then it'll count you off after a brief moment, so you can get yourself set up. Let's turn up the volume, and we should be good to go. Hands feel off. That's why we're warming up. Couple more reps. Well, hello. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but hello on YouTube. All right, so that was just being used to warm up, but we're now going to stretch and massage, and then we'll get into the upstroke technique work. First, we're going to do this stretch that I learned from my first drum teacher. You pull in like that. It looks weird. It feels great. It's a good little stretch. Highly recommend doing the stretch and massage routine daily. Helps keep your hands healthy. Yesterday I was going to do a stream, but both drumming and gaming stuff. That was the plan, at least. And then I had to like schedule an appointment, and they're basically like, we can either meet yesterday when I was streaming, or a month from now. I was like, all right, I guess I'm not streaming. If you do traditional rotate and hold here, and then rotate and hold the other side. I know there are millions of you all lined up waiting on YouTube. Like, where's Jared? No. I know, I ruined your day. I'm so sorry. Oh, you could stretch like this. That feels good. One at a time. You could do it like this that I did 2 days ago when I streamed. Just hold it here. Don't bounce. Or you could do it on the wall. We'll do it this way today. The lower you go, the deeper your stretch. Just don't put all your weight into it. You don't want to rip stuff. Yeah. Now we're going to stretch the top side. You could do it one at a time like this. You could do it on your pad like this. You could do it on your leg like that. Or you could do it on the wall. The higher you go, the deeper you stretch. Again, don't put all your weight into it. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to stretch finger to finger. We're doing thumb to thumb. Goes twice as fast. You could do it one at a time. Whatever you want to do. It's your life. You do you. Ooh, that one feels good. Take as long as you need. You might need to spend more time on one finger than the other than I might be doing. Kind of depends on what I've done the last couple of days or how my workout was or whatever. Every day will be different with your hands. Like 2 days ago when I was playing, hands felt so like everything was like 10 BPM slower than my normal max. But it happens. That's okay. It's to be expected. We're going to massage now. So we're doing thumb on top, fingers massaging underneath. Ooh, that feels good. Just trying to loosen up. Massage on the muscles, massage around the muscles. Oh. Take your time. This is like spa day for your arm. Do it every day. Trust me, when you get to be older like I am, not that I'm super old, but I mean 39 is old enough. 26 years of drumming. You want to still be able to play. Well, take care of your hands. Take care of your body, your mind. Like I mentioned 2 days ago on the last stream that we did, drum-wise. You want to focus on your long-term health with drumming. It's important to consider that. Wear sunscreen, wear a hat, wear glasses, sunglasses. We're massaging thumb here. Wear ear protection. Massage your hands. Meditate. All those things can help. So that way when you get to be ancient, you can also continue to drum. The thumb for me, like right down here, feels good to massage that. Sometimes if the thumbs are a little bit too tight on the stick, not letting it breathe enough. Waffle, good morning. How's YouTube treating you this morning? Is the algorithm good? Is it in a good mood? We're now going to massage base to tip of each one of the fingers. 2 or 3 times. Maybe 7 times if the finger's extra tight. Just kind of like working your way slowly. Massaging it. Getting relaxed. Alright, so now we're going to go back into this accent tap playlist. And instead of doing the downstroke sticking stuff, which we just used to kind of like warm up, we're going to do the upstroke version, which is going to sound the same, but the sticking's going to be different. So alternating upstrokes is a great way for working on your like inverts and whatnot. So we'll go through that. But there's also actually an exercise that released, I don't know, like a week or 2 ago under the rudiment builders, which is right here. So invert builder. And this exercise is a great way to work on your inverts. So if you play through this, like you're playing accent taps, and then you add in one more right hand, or left hand. I can't think this morning. And then you add another. So you're slowly adding in inverts until you get to the middle line right here, where you're playing inverts all the way through. And then you're removing one right hand at a time, each one of these measures, and that makes it so that you can work on the right hand and left hand in isolation and combined working on your inverts. So this is a great way to work on your inverts. It's called Invert Builder, and again, you can find that under the Rudiment Builders playlist, which is all the way down under Technique right here. But another way to work on your inverts is to actually go into the accent tap playlist and to do the alternating upstroke variations of grid, whether you're doing forward or backwards, or you're doing triplet or 16th note. Each one of these is a great way to work on it. So we're actually going to slow this down. Woo! We're going to go into timestamps, and we're going to say, hey, start at 40. Why? So we can refine our technique. And we're just going to slowly let it go one click at a time faster. So when you pull back on these accents, don't squeeze like this. You want to just let the height happen and let the weight of the stick and the velocity, oops, create the sound. I can't speak while doing this. It's flawless. It's harder than it looks to do that. Talking while drumming, especially teaching while drumming. Depends on how complicated it is. It can like really make me sound robotic, or just like really mess up my hands, whatever I'm playing. Yeah, so again, anyways, this is a great way to work on your accents, but play it the way you would fast while you're working on it slow. The same technique needs to apply from 40 to 240. So that way you're not playing with like a super tight technique like this, and then when you get faster, you're like, wait a minute, my hands are locking up. Well, the reason why is because you weren't relaxed when you were playing it slow. Have that fluid motion of what you want when you're playing fast, and apply it when you're playing slow, and it'll help you out. There's a time when I was marching where we were working on stick control, and I was using the fast technique while we were playing it slow, and the snare technique kind of like looked at me and was like, why are you doing that? But then it was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna let Jared do their thing. And then the rest of the snare line was all using like downstrokes for every one of those strokes, and as we slowly sped it up, it like really screwed things up. Actually, let me just show you that. So I'm gonna retell the story. I'm gonna turn this into a clip. I think it's worth sharing. So back when I used to march, we were playing through stick control, and we were playing through it slowly. And the snare tech was looking at my technique and was kind of seeing me do this like floating approach to the technique, and was just kind of like, why are you doing that? But just kind of let me do their thing. Everybody else on the snare line was playing slow downstrokes for every one of these strokes that they were playing. This created a problem as we slowly started to speed up. We were going like 5-10 clicks at a time. And as we got faster, it got to a point where the rest of the snare line was playing with all downstrokes, and it just like really made everything super tight. So when you're practicing something slow, it is super important for you to play with a technique that you want to play when you're playing fast. So if you're playing stick control, and these are all fluid, rebound, legato, upstrokes, however you want to call it, apply that when you're playing it slow. So every single one of these strokes when you're playing slow should come off the head and have this like kind of floaty, very light approach, as opposed to down strokes with it. I promise that'll help you speed up your hands when you speed things up. Otherwise, it's going to be like so tight that it's going to actually end up holding you back, and you're going to look like that, which I see a lot of younger drummers do, unfortunately, which I did, as well when I was first starting. But anyways, pro tip from a pro gamer. All right, let's do this at 42. Woo! Too fast, too furious. Ew, early. Early. I forgot to add something. So what ended up happening is because the rest of the snare line was like playing with this like very staccato approach as opposed to like a nice fluid technique and whatnot, we ended up having to slow it all the way back down to our starting tempo. And the snare tech was like, Jared, now I understand why you were playing with that technique. Can everybody else do that while playing slow? Play with that really relaxed technique. So it ended up like making us waste our time because we spent all that time refining bad technique, tight technique rather than fluid motion with the hands. So highly recommend starting with the fast technique you want to use while you're practicing slow. I promise that will help out. Good morning, Peter. How you doing? I think that's something I started doing subconsciously when playing stick control. Yeah, that's awesome. It applies to everything too. Like whether you're working on like cheesy poofs or like flam fives, whatever it is that you're doing, try and use that same approach. That was a concept that I learned from Jeff Queen. I got a couple of lessons from him. He's like a 4-time world champion snare drummer. He's also got a book. I forget the name of it. Next Level. That's what it's called. Got it on a bookshelf back there. But yeah, so he talks about specifically like the importance of having consistent technique. So when you're playing something like if you're playing like a roll, as you speed it up slowly, you don't want to all of a sudden go from like this technique to like a completely different technique. So when you're doing this, you start off slow and you slowly speed it up, and you want to have the same hand motion as you get faster and not have like this drastic jump in your technique when you slow back down. The area in the middle where it like switches from one technique to the next is called like the gray area, or you can call it that. So you want to be able to like work through that. So there are some exercises on my YouTube channel that are specifically for helping with that, like fast, slow, fast, or slow, fast, slow, which like either starts really slow, gradually speeds up 4 clicks, every 4 beats rather, and then gradually slows back down every 4 beats. And then the opposite version of that, it starts off fast, goes slow, and then eventually speeds it back up. Oh, I appreciate the kind words, Peter. Plenty more content to come. Give it time. Edward, hello, good morning. Anyways, I'm rambling. My apologies. Let's do 43. Woo! Slow down. So keep the accents nice and relaxed when doing these upstrokes. Don't overemphasize them. As you get faster, it's going to naturally become louder because you are speeding up the velocity. I suppose I could demonstrate that as well. Yeah, let's talk about it. So when you're playing exercises like this alternating upstroke grid variation, we're playing it slow. Right now, we're about to play through it at 44. When I'm doing this, I am playing with a light accent where I'm just pulling the stick back, and I'm not overemphasizing each one of these just because it's slow, and I'm like trying to put extra strength behind it. The reason why is because I want to be able to just let the velocity of the stroke as we speed it up do the work for me. So without squeezing and adding extra tension to my hand, which will ultimately slow me down, I want to just let the height and the velocity of the stick create the volume that I want to get when I'm playing through this faster. It's going to naturally get that extra volume in there. So when you're practicing these exercises, these play along slowly, which I highly recommend doing, make sure you use a light accent when you are going slow. It will pay off. Luis, good morning. Why did it just say 100%? What? YouTube, what are you doing? Ew, early. It's like I'm not paying attention on the tap off. Whoopsies. Water break. Enjoy the ASMR experience with Jared O'Leary. That's fun, right? Yeah, I agree. Oh, early again. Unsub. I understand. Don't worry. I don't blame you. Shall you save up for a PlayStation 2? I mean, that's up to you. A lot of the older games you can play on PlayStation 5. If you have the PlayStation Plus, and then you can play the newer games too. But you can also find emulators on phones, or they have a lot of old games that are like redesigned. That are redesigned by the developers for mobile. So that's another way that you can play a lot of like old school games and whatnot. But I've had every PlayStation 1 through 5. I like them. They're good consoles. But I also have the PlayStation PC combo, so I can get Microsoft games on PC. That combo works for me. As opposed to like an Xbox and PC. You can't get like the PlayStation exclusives that way until they come out on PC, which often is like a year or more later, like Ghost of Tsushima. That came out a few years ago, I believe, originally. And then they remastered it and made it like high def for like PlayStation 5, which we streamed a few months ago, I think. But it's just now came out on PC. A long time after the fact. So I'm looking at my hands and trying to match them better. As somebody who march traditional, I'm still trying to get my left hand to feel like and look like my right hand, which just has like many more years of experience playing match as opposed to playing traditional. You found a PlayStation 5, which is $99. Nice. Yeah, if you find one used and it's still in good condition and not like a scam, you can save a lot of money doing that. I buy pre-owned games all the time. If you have the disc drive. Yeah, I mean, Xbox is good. Like, it's a good system. Oops. It's just, again, if you have a PC, it's, like, redundant. Especially because you can use a controller now for a lot of PC games. So, like, if you prefer the controller feel, but you have a decent PC, then you can just use that. But, yeah. Even though I have all Sony stuff for their consoles and Nintendo, Xbox is still good. Hot take. console wars is silly. I mean, if we want to talk about the console wars in terms of numbers, I'm pretty sure the Wii outsold, like, PlayStation and Xbox combined. So, I guess Nintendo won. Also with, like, their Game Boy. Whoops. That outsold so many consoles. Mm-hmm. Thumb came off the stick. Whoops. When I first started streaming, it was like 2 years ago. When I was playing Fortnite, I was playing it on PlayStation with controller. And then I downloaded it on my PC and was like, let's see how this whole mouse and keyboard thing feels. Because I never played an FPS with mouse and keyboard. So it was mainly console. Whoops. Because that's what most of my friends also use, was PlayStation. And it didn't have like that cross compatibility. But when I switched to mouse and keyboard, I was like, oh, this is it. The amount of control that you got, it's so much better than controller. You might save up for PlayStation 7. Yeah, it'll come out in like 10 years. Pay with cash. Don't put stuff on credit. Pro tip. Only buy stuff that you can afford to lose on day one. In other words, if you buy a PlayStation and it breaks, I can't play while talking. And it breaks on day one. And you'll be okay. Like, it won't kill you. Then you can afford it. PlayStation 3 was a good console. But that one was the one where they went with the cell technology, I think. Cell processing? I'm forgetting. And it, like, screwed up the backwards compatibility, I believe. So, like, on PlayStation 4 and 5, I don't think they could do, like, backwards compatibility with 3. If I remember correctly. They may have fixed that. I don't remember. Yeah, so I need to loosen up more on those accents. Again, trying to stay nice and light while doing it. Without raising the taps. You don't want like that. That'd be bad, especially when you hit the microphone. Sorry. Yeah, saving up for your like first console that you get, highly recommend it. First one, because I'm old, I saved up for a Sega Genesis. That was a long time ago. Did so many chores. Took like a couple years to be able to save up enough without spending my money. All my birthday money, all my chore money. Just kept saving. And it like came with like this cartridge that had like 3 or 6 games on it. It was great. Worth it. Sweet. shoulders are sore from this morning's workout. It's a good problem to have. Yeah. Early on that transition. Whoops. This exercise is short enough that like starting at 40 and then slowly going one click at a time isn't so bad. Doesn't take too long. I recommend it. Slowly just let it get faster. Don't need to skip. Early. It's the problem with like, I'm trying to practice while also be informative or entertaining or educational. But that affects my playing because I'm talking while I'm playing or in between tap-offs and whatnot. If I just like was in private practicing and not talking, somehow I think I'd get the tap off a little bit better. So right now I'm looking at my wrist angle. I want to make sure that they match. My left hand has this tendency of being a Germanic approach, a flat approach, as opposed to American tilt. And if you're not familiar with that, let me just show you real quick. Let's do that one. So, German is flat, generally speaking. French is so that your thumbs are on top, hands are facing each other. American is in between the two, so it's like at a downward angle, like that, as opposed to flat. Okay, so my left hand has this tendency of getting flat like this because of all the years of playing traditional and trying to get into match now. It doesn't match my right hand as much as I'd like, so sometimes it looks like this. Like this is an exaggerated version of both hands being different. So I want it to be like that. So I'm specifically looking down and making sure that like the fingers are nice and curved, relaxed. There's space in the hands to let the stick vibrate, let it breathe, etc. But the left hand is creeping like this just a little bit because it wants to tilt this way, you know, to play upside down like that. That's how I play normally. Not really. Oops. Double tap the pedals. All right, let's resume. Oops. Started playing wrong line. Caught it at the last minute. Ah! I messed up. I know. Unsub. I understand. I'm not allowed to make mistakes while playing. accents are too heavy right now. There's too much force behind it, which is not good. You're gonna go save up. Save your money. It opens up options for you. There's a reason why I'm able to stream and make pennies. It's because we saved our money. And we can live off of one income. Able to leave a toxic work environment because of it. If we had lived paycheck to paycheck, wouldn't have been able to do that. I'd be stuck working at a place that I genuinely hated working at, with people who were actively sabotaging your day. But because we saved and didn't spend beyond our means, in fact, we saved more than we spent, that's why I'm able to do all this. Yeah, just be careful with the stuff on Amazon. Some of them aren't very good quality. And sometimes it's better to pay for a more expensive quality thing that will last you longer than to get a cheaper something that'll break. Ugh. Just my 2 cents. Like drumsticks. You can get cheap drumsticks from a cheap manufacturer, but they're gonna break. Or they might. Not guaranteed. But like these sticks that I'm using, I've had for over a decade. Granted, I'm just playing on the pad, but like they still work great after more than a decade of playing with them. Bad. Attack. So we'll play 6 more reps, and then we'll chop out. And then I'm gonna play Fortnite Reload. The Battle Royale is too annoying right now. I'll explain more when I actually play Fortnite, but we're gonna try Reload. And if I don't like it, then we'll just do single player games. Last break for the last 5 reps. It's cool when like Steam has like a bundle and it discounts like a group of games. Easier on the wallet. PlayStation sometimes does that, but not enough. Iron. Hello. Thank you for the like. As I screw up my playing. Yeah, I like it too. Yeah, that was a interesting battle. That Ring of Fire really ended up helping out there in that battle. It was cool. Good game. Still had some errors, some issues with it, like not pressing buttons and I press the button. It's like, I want to heal, please. If they fix that, it'd be a great game, but it's still really good. Yeah, how'd you do? Sweet. All right, so that was 30 clicks, 30 beats a minute of improvement. So we started at 40. We got all the way up to 70 basically, and it took 25 minutes to do that, but that's 25 minutes well spent being able to improve my inverted sticking, my upstrokes. Again, there's also the inverts builder on here that help out with that. You're doing a new playthrough? Nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I heard that it is very replayable overall, but with like the gaming streams that I do, like if you go to /game on my site, it's got like all the highlight reels. There's a lot of different games on here. A lot of different games that we've streamed because I like the variety. Rather than becoming like the best player at Hitman 3, I'd rather play it once and then move on to like Goat Simulator and then move on to Minecraft and move on to blah, blah, blah. So for me, I like that variety. So play things through once. Very rarely will I go back and play through something again. But let's do, since we're working on upstrokes, on inverts and whatnot, let's do slow paradiddle. But there's a version of this that is with cheese inverts. So this exercise, the accent's going to paradiddle, paradiddle when you're doing it. So that's why it's called slow paradiddle. You play trumpet? Nice. Electric guitar? I haven't learned guitar, but because I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD in music education, I had to learn every single band and orchestra instrument. So I played trumpet like at the middle school level. Back when I used to teach like elementary band and whatnot, I would often be on the drum kit and play trumpet with one hand while playing drums. It was great. It was fun. All right, what speed was this that I just clicked? Let's do actually 90. We're gonna chop out now, so we're gonna try and find the breaking point intentionally. Here we go. Kind of a fun variation. It reminds me of Susie a little bit, but this is the only 16th note version of slow paradiddle that we've got in this playlist. And again, there's 9 other variations in here, but they're all triplet. So this is a very different version of it that you can work on. Do 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 do. You want to play drums? I mean, yeah. So like as a former band director, I think kids should be able to play what they want to play. And if there's like too many people who like signed up to play percussion, cool, make a percussion ensemble, as opposed to going, no, what we need is more oboists. No, the world does not need more oboists. The world needs more people being passionate about the instrument they're playing. In my opinion. Which, that kind of reminds me of something. So back when I taught elementary band, there was a student, 5th grader, who first started playing flute. And she stuck with it for like a couple months, and she's like, I'm going to quit band. I don't like playing flute. I'm like, okay, well, instead of quitting band, is there another instrument that you'd prefer to play? Because you can play whatever you want. She's like, well, what I really want to learn is piano. I don't want to learn how to play flute. And so I was like, great. You can play on piano while everybody else will play like the normal instruments that they signed up for. And at the concert, when she was playing on piano, one of the district administrators came up and saw this, and afterwards was like, hey, that was a great band performance, but that girl who was playing on piano, she shouldn't be doing that. That's not a band instrument. We don't allow that in our district. And keep in mind, this is not just a normal administrator. This is a music education administrator. So, like, their background is in music education. I was like, wait. So the option is she quits band because there's no other instrument she wants to play other than piano, or she stays in band and makes music on an instrument that you say is not allowed, supposedly, and you would prefer her to quit than to, like, continue to make music? I was like, I strongly disagree with you. And me and that administrator, we butted heads quite a bit. Needs to say, we didn't get along too good. There are like 30 drum players? Yeah, not enough. There can always be more. There's a school in Arizona that has a full-time percussion director because they have like a steel pan. I think they have multiple steel pan classes. They have multiple percussion ensembles. They have a drumline. They've got all sorts of stuff. And just a full-time percussion director that slowly built up that program over time. And there's like over 100 people in that program. 30 is not enough. You can get more. Tell your band director to suck it up. Start a percussion ensemble. Quote, Dr. O'Leary. Dr. O'Leary says to suck it up. A few clicks faster. This is going to be the breaking point. My hands are going to spontaneously combust right here. That's a lot of inverts. A lot of them. We're staying nice and relaxed, nice and loose. That's good. Yikes! That's brisk, baby. Alright. If that's too fast for you, you can slow this down. Like Iron Shark on YouTube. These 16th note ones, you can play as slow as 20 beats a minute. And this is like one of the more complicated ones. But if you go to the home tab on here, we've got all of this stuff neatly organized into like drumming, gaming, computer science stuff. But if you click on the drumming stuff, even if you're not in like the percussion ensemble or in the drum line, you can still learn how to drum. There's like 8 hours of drumming tips in here in these streams where like people ask questions and I give some feedback. I edit that and put them into the drumming tips folder right here, or playlist. All the prior live streams are here, but there's literally 1,000 play-alongs that you can use to improve your own drumming, over 1,000. And you can slow these things down, like to work on your technique. This one goes from 20 to 160 beats a minute, but then there's like triplet ones that go from... Well, this one goes up to 240. The triplet ones go up to 200, etc. So these can help you with your own playing, refining, and whatnot. Which, speaking of, we should be back on most likely tomorrow morning, refining our techniques some more. But if you want to go to a neatly organized website that's got all of the thousands of free play-alongs, go to the link up here, /drum on my website. All the chop exercises, so there are 54 of them, 372 triplet grid, 513 16th note grid, all the drum kit stuff, timing exercises, 55 drum charts, 166 marching bass permutations exercises, 134 technique exercises, all of the drumming tips, all of the prior live streams, etc. You can see, like, here are some books I recommend if you click on this one. These are affiliate links with Amazon, most of them. So if you buy anything on Amazon, like the monitor that Edward was mentioning on Amazon, if you click on this first, I get like 4% back for whatever you buy. It doesn't even have to be like these drumsticks or drum pads or whatever. So if you want to do that, it helps me. But no pressure. If you enjoy this content, just share it with somebody else. We've got a lot of content. Speaking of a lot of content, we're going to try Fortnite Reload here in like less than 30 minutes. So that's the plan. I'm going to tear this down and get ready for that. We'll see how that mode is. But I appreciate everybody stopping by on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Anybody else on the other platforms where it's muted, I appreciate you too. But I'm going to call it here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and goodbye.